Have you ever started a task with full intention to complete it, only to find your mind wandering 5 minutes later? Maybe you can't sit through a movie without checking your phone. Maybe you start multiple projects but finish none. Perhaps reading a book feels impossible because your thoughts keep pulling you elsewhere. If this sounds like you're not lazy, you're undisciplined. There's a real psychology behind why some people struggle to focus for extended periods. People who can't focus for long aren't choosing distraction. Their brains are wired differently, or they're carrying stress, overstimulation, or unmet needs that make sustained attention feel impossible. Understanding why can help you stop blaming yourself and start working with your brain instead of against it. But before we dive in, if you're enjoying this exploration of human behavior, consider subscribing to Mura Psychology for more insights into the psychology that shapes who you are. Now let's explore the 5 key traits that define people who struggle to maintain focus. If you recognize yourself here, know that your attention challenges aren't a character flaw. They're telling you something important about how your brain works and what it needs. The first trait is overstimulation and constant sensory input. Many people who can't focus are living in a state of chronic overstimulation. Their environment is filled with notifications, background noise, visual clutter, and endless sources of input competing for their attention. The brain isn't designed to handle this level of stimulation. It gets overwhelmed, scattered, and unable to commit to any single thing. This overstimulation has become normalized in modern life. We carry devices that deliver infinite content. We consume media while eating, while walking, while supposedly relaxing. We've trained our brains to expect constant novelty and rapid shifts in attention. So when we try to focus on something that requires sustained effort, the brain rebels. It's bored. It wants the dopamine hit of something new. This isn't a personal failure, it's a predictable response to an environment that's hostile to deep focus. People with this trait often feel restless when things slow down. Silence feels uncomfortable, single tasking feels inefficient. But the truth is, their nervous system is depleted from constant activation. What they need isn't more stimulation, it's recovery, space to let the brain settle. But that feels so foreign, they don't know how to access it. The second trait is undiagnosed or unmanaged ADHD and executive dysfunction. For many people, the inability to focus isn't just distraction, it's a neurological difference. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, affects how the brain regulates attention, impulse control, and executive function. People with ADHD don't lack focus entirely. They hyper-focus on things that interest them and struggle intensely with things that don't. This isn't laziness or lack of discipline. It's how their brain prioritizes and processes information. Executive dysfunction makes it hard to initiate tasks, sustain efforts, and switch between activities effectively. Even when they want to focus, the brain doesn't cooperate. It's like trying to drive a car with faulty brakes and an unpredictable accelerator.
The intention is there, but the mechanism isn't working properly. Many people go years without realizing they have ADHD, especially if they're intelligent and found ways to compensate. They blame themselves for being scattered or unreliable. But once they understand it's neurological, not moral, they can seek appropriate support. Strategies, therapy, or medication that actually address the root cause instead of just trying harder. The third trait is chronic stress and mental overload. When your mind is carrying too much stress, worry, or unprocessed emotion, focus becomes nearly impossible. The brain's resources are consumed by managing internal chaos. There's nothing left for sustained attention. People in this state often describe feeling foggy or mentally exhausted. They start tasks and forget what they were doing. They read the same paragraph multiple times without absorbing it. They sit down to work and stare blankly at the screen. This isn't lack of motivation, it's cognitive overload. The brain is running too many background processes. It's trying to solve problems, manage anxiety, and keep you safe from perceived threats. Focus requires mental bandwidth, and when stress has monopolized that bandwidth, there's nothing available for intentional attention. This is especially true for people dealing with trauma, ongoing life stress, or burnout. Their nervous system is in survival mode, and survival mode doesn't prioritize deep work or creative focus. It prioritizes threat detection and immediate response. Until the stress is addressed, focus will remain elusive. Rest, therapy, and nervous system regulation aren't optional. They're prerequisites for attention. The fourth trait is dopamine-seeking and reward system imbalance. People who struggle to focus often have brains that crave immediate rewards. They're drawn to activities that provide quick dopamine hits: social media, video games, snacking, anything that offers instant gratification. Long-term tasks that require sustained effort with delayed rewards feel nearly impossible. This isn't about willpower, it's about brain chemistry. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter involved in motivation and reward. When the dopamine system is dysregulated, either from ADHD, chronic stress, or overstimulation, the brain constantly seeks the next hit. It can't sustain interest in things that don't provide immediate pleasure or novelty. This creates a cycle. They start a task, it feels boring or difficult, the brain sends signals of discomfort, they seek relief through distraction, they get a small dopamine boost from checking their phone or switching tasks. The brain learns that distraction equals reward, and the pattern reinforces itself. Breaking this cycle requires understanding that the discomfort of focus is temporary, that boredom isn't dangerous, and that sustained attention can be trained. But it's hard because the brain is wired to avoid discomfort and seek pleasure. Fighting that wiring requires intentional strategies and often external support.
The fifth trait is lack of meaningful engagement and purpose. Sometimes the inability to focus isn't about brain chemistry or overstimulation, it's about meaning. People struggle to focus on things they don't care about. If your work feels meaningless, if your daily tasks feel disconnected from your values, if you're just going through the motions, focus becomes nearly impossible. The brain doesn't invest energy in things it deems unimportant. This is adaptive. Attention is a limited resource. The brain allocates it based on perceived value. If something doesn't matter to you, your brain will constantly pull your attention elsewhere, searching for something that does. People in this situation often focus easily on hobbies or passion projects, but when it comes to their job or responsibilities, they can't sustain attention. This isn't laziness, it's a misalignment between what you're doing and what you care about. The solution isn't to force focus, it's to examine why you're spending energy on things that don't resonate. Sometimes you can reframe the task to connect it to your values. Sometimes you need to make bigger changes. But pretending you can force attention on meaningless work is a losing battle. Understanding these traits reveals something crucial. Difficulty focusing isn't a moral failure, it's a signal that something is off, whether it's your environment, your brain chemistry, your stress levels, or your sense of purpose. Punishing yourself for poor focus doesn't help. Understanding the root cause does. Research on attention shows that the human brain wasn't designed for the modern world. Our ancestors had limited stimuli and long periods of sustained attention on single tasks like hunting or crafting. Now we're bombarded with information and expected to multitask constantly. Studies show that even having a phone nearby reduces cognitive capacity. Our brains are fighting an uphill battle. Historically, many brilliant minds struggled with focus. Albert Einstein was considered a daydreamer and struggled in traditional school. Leonardo da Vinci jumped between projects constantly. Their inability to focus conventionally didn't diminish their genius. It was part of how their brains worked. Modern society has pathologized certain attention patterns, but diverse focus styles have always existed. If you struggle to focus, start by identifying which trait resonates most. Is it overstimulation? Get ruthless about reducing inputs. Turn off notifications, create quiet spaces, give your brain permission to rest. Is it undiagnosed ADHD? Seek evaluation, get support. Stop blaming yourself for a neurological difference. Is it stress? Prioritize nervous system regulation. Rest isn't optional. Is it dopamine imbalance? Build in small rewards. Break tasks into tiny chunks. Train your brain gradually. Is it lack of meaning? Get honest about what matters to you. Life's too short to spend your attention on things you don't care about. Focus isn't about discipline. It's about understanding your brain and creating conditions where attention can thrive. Stop fighting yourself. Start working with yourself. So the next time you lose focus, instead of judging yourself, ask what your brain is trying to tell you. The answer might surprise you, and it might be exactly what you need to hear. If this resonates with you, reflect on when focusing feels easiest for you. What's different in those moments? That's your clue to what your brain needs. Remember, struggling to focus isn't about being broken. It's about being human in a world that demands superhuman attention. And understanding that is the first step toward real change.